Hello. Ay, okay ba yung ano? Yung nag-e-echo, wait. Okay ba yung sound? Hindi na nag-e-echo. Pwede na rin mag-start. Sorry guys, late ako. Wait. Yan. So, good afternoon everyone. Sorry, late ako ulit.
Okay lang po. Good afternoon din.
Okay. So, ang topic po natin today ay weather, climate, tsaka the atmosphere. Yan. So, isa-isay natin sila. Medyo mahaba-haba to. Pero siguro papaikliin ko na lang yung paliwanag. Kasi baka hindi magkasya sa 2 hours. Or, yeah. So, let's start muna sa weather. So, ano nga ba ang weather? Weather is the mix of daily atmospheric events that vary across different regions and change rapidly over short periods of time. Ibig sabihin, yung weather po, yun yung nangyayari sa atin, sa atmosphere natin, sa iba't ibang lugar at nag-change din siya kaagad. Hindi siya yung pangmatagalan like, for example, ngayon, umuulan, tapos mamaya titigil na, parang ganon. So it is described as the current conditions in a specific location, including factors like temperature, cloud cover, dryness, sunshine, wind, and precipitation. The atmosphere, composed mainly of nitrogen with traces of other gases, surrounds the Earth and is held in place by gravity. So, nade-describe daw po ang weather sa temperature, sa cloud cover, dryness, sunshine, wind, and precipitation. So, isa-isahin din natin sila. Kung ano ba yung connect nila sa weather at kung paano ba nila naapektuhan ang weather. Yan. So, ano nga ba what makes weather or ano ba yung mga nakakaapekto sa weather? So, there are 6 main components or parts of weather. They are temperature, atmospheric pressure, or air pressure, wind, humidity, precipitation, and cloudiness. Together, these components describe the weather at any given time. These changing components, along with the knowledge of atmospheric processes, help meteorologists, scientists who study weather, forecast what the weather will be in the future. So, itong temperature, atmospheric pressure, wind, humidity, precipitation, tsaka cloudness, sila yung mga factors na nakaka-affect sa weather at sila rin yung doon nagbe-base yung mga meteorologists sa kung ano ba yung weather sa susunod na araw. Kaya nga 'di ba sa mga balita parang na-a-announce nila agad kung ano ba yung weather bukas or sa isang araw. So, yeah, next. Temperature. Temperature is a measure of the kinetic energy within the particles of an object or how hot or cold an object is. So, yan. Alam niyo naman na siguro to. Kung ito yung temperature, yung measure ng kinetic energy within the particles of an object, kung gaano ba ito kainit or kalamig. So, temperature varies with height above sea level. An increase in height leads to a decrease in temperature. The collision of hot and cold air masses can also affect the weather due to the differences in the density of the air masses. So, nalalaman ang temperature, ilang paano ba? Kapag kasi ang object ay may higher kinetic energy, ibig sabihin, yung mga particles nito nagmo-move ng mas mabilis, which causes heat. So, kabaliktaran naman nun, kapag kapag yung isang bagay naman ay mababang kinetic energy, ibig sabihin yung particles niya ay nagmo-move ng mabagal, which causes colder temperature. No, kapag sa weather naman, itong object na dinedescribe dito ay yung air masses. Ibig sabihin, kapag ang temperature ay tumataas, ibig sabihin yung air masses ay nag-absorb ng mas maraming water vapor. So, kapag nag-absorb yung wait, kapag nagtaas chance na mag-absorb ng water vapor, ibig sabihin mas mataas yung chance na magkakaroon ng ulan or thunderstorms. Next, temperature is measured using a thermometer in degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius. Meteorologists report temperature in two ways, in Celsius and Fahrenheit. Almost all scientists measure temperature using the Celsius scale. The coldest weather usually happens near the poles, while the warmest weather usually happens near the equator. So, kaya ang coldest weather ay nangyayari malapit sa poles dahil hindi sila masyadong na aanuhan ng sunlight. Parang hindi sila tatamaan ng sunlight. And, okay, kabaliktaran naman nun yung mga lugar na nangyayari ay mga lugar na malapit sa equator, which is nakaka-receive sila ng direct sunlight.
May
Next is,
ask po ba dun sa Fahrenheit? Yung sa Celsius po is ginagamit siya as a degree. And yung Fahrenheit po, para ano yun siya? What is the difference between the Celsius and Fahrenheit po?
um, wait, differences ba dito sa pag-ano ng temperature?
Opo.
Like, wait, wait, dinabasa ako dito na ano parang, actually di ko rin sure, pero may nabasa ako kasama rin ito pero tinanggal ko lang siya kasi masyadong mahaba. May nabasa ko na most of the scientists daw sa US, ang ginagamit nila ay Fahrenheit. Pero almost all scientists is using the Celsius scale. Pero hindi ko alam talaga yung pinagkaiba nilang dalawa.
Opo, okay lang. So, yung Celsius naman at saka Fahrenheit is the same lang sila. Pero yung almost na ginagamit ng mga scientists para sa measurement ng temperature is yung Celsius.
Yes.
Okay po, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So next is air pressure or atmospheric pressure. Air pressure is the amount of pressure exerted by the air in a particular air mass. The force exerted by an air mass is created by the molecules that make it up in their size, motion, and number present in the air. So, itong size, motion, and number ng air mass ay um, importante sa pagdetermine ng temperature, density, tsaka pressure ng air. So, the number of air molecules above a surface determines air pressure. As the number of molecules increases, they exert more pressure on a surface and the total atmospheric pressure increases. So, ibig sabihin kapag mas madaming molecules, mas nag-exert sila ng pressure sa surface and nagre-result yon sa pagtaas rin ng atmospheric pressure or ng air pressure. Next, air pressure is measured with mercury or aneroid barometers. So yan, ito yung itsura ng mercury barometer and aneroid barometer. Excuse me. Mercury barometers measure the height of a mercury column in a vertical glass tube. So parang itsura niya parang tawag dun, thermometer. Yan. Parang may nabasa ko something na ganun. Parang same sila ng structure at kung paano siya nag-work. So meteorologists measure air pressure in units called atmospheres, ATM. One atmosphere is equal to 1,030 millibars at sea level, which translates into 760 millimeters of quicksilver when measured on a mercury barometer. And while yung aneroid barometer naman, same lang sila ng same lang sila ng parang units, yung pagme-measure nung result. Pero hindi sila same nung parang nangyayari kasi ito dito sa mercury parang ayan tumataas yung parang silver na yan. And then dito naman parang meron siyang coil ito oh. pero yung ano nila parang yung readings nila same lang. Air pressure is not uniform across the planet. The normal range of the Earth's air pressure is from 970 millibars to 1050 millibars. So, bakit nga ba hindi pare-parehas yung air pressure sa Earth? So, dahil to sa low and high air pressure systems. Excuse me. Yan. So, dahil to sa low and high air pressure systems na nagkakos ng hindi pagpantay na init at lamig sa surface ng Earth. So, the highest barometric pressure on record was 1,083.8 millibars measured in Agata, Siberia on December 31, 1968, while the lowest pressure ever measured was 870 millibars, recorded as Typhoon Tip struck the Western Pacific Ocean on October 12, 1979. Yan, so 'di ba nabanggit ko kanina na mayroong low pressure system and high pressure system. So explain ko sila isa-isa. So yan, so si low pressure system or also known as depression, is an area with lower atmospheric pressure compared to its surroundings. Sabihin, parang sa lugar na yon, mas mababa yung atmospheric pressure niya or yung air pressure niya compared doon sa mga katabi niyang lugar or yung mga nakapalibot sa kanyang lugar. Lows are usually associated with high winds, warm air, and atmospheric lifting. Lows normally produce clouds, precipitation, and other turbulent weather such as tropical storms and cyclones. While yung high pressure system naman, or sometimes called an anticyclone, is an area where the atmospheric pressure is greater than that of the surrounding area. So, kung si high, ay gagi, sorry. Hindi ko pala na-edit to. Sorry, dapat ayan. Kung si low pressure system ay mas mababa yung atmospheric pressure niya kaysa sa surroundings niya. Si high pressure system naman ay mas mataas. Kaya nga high. So these systems move clockwise in the northern hemisphere and counterclockwise in the southern hemisphere due to the Coriolis effect. High pressure areas are normally caused by a phenomenon called subsidence. Subsidence also sorry, hindi ko pala talaga na-edit to. Subsidence also evaporates most of the atmosphere's water vapor, so high pressure systems are usually associated with clear skies and calm weather. Unlike areas of low pressure, the absence of cloud means that the areas prone to high pressure experience extremes in diurnal and seasonal temperatures since there are no clouds to block incoming solar radiation or trap outgoing long-wave radiation at night. No, so yun lang naman yun. Ang pinagkaiba nila ay Si low pressure system, mas mababa yung um ano ba? Mas mababa yung atmospheric pressure niya and si high pressure systems ay mas mataas. Changes in atmospheric pressure signal shifts in the weather. A high pressure system usually brings cool temperatures and clear skies. A low pressure system can bring warmer weather, storms, and rain. So yun nga. Si high pressure system ay nagdadala daw ng cool temperature at clear skies. And si low pressure system naman ay nagdala ng weather, storms, and rain. Nadala siya ng sama ng loob. Yan. So also, atmospheric pressure changes with altitude. The atmospheric pressure is much lower at high altitudes. So, pwede rin daw mabago si atmospheric pressure it comes to its altitude. So, mas mababa ang atmospheric pressure kapag mataas ang altitude. So, ito yung example. The air pressure on top of Mount Kilimanjaro Tanzania, which is 5,895 meters or 19,344 feet tall, is 40% of the air pressure at sea level. The weather is much colder. The weather at the base of Mount Kilimanjaro is tropical, but the top of the mountain has ice and snow. So, ganito yung itsura niya, no? So, sa taas, meron siyang snow and ice, and dito sa baba, wala. So, dahil yun sa kanyang altitude. So next, wind. Wind is the movement of air. So madali lang naman siguro tayo intindihan, no? Ito yung hangin. Wind forms because of differences in temperature and atmospheric pressure between nearby regions. It is the great equalizer of the atmosphere, transporting heat, moisture, pollutants, and thus great distances around the globe. The boundary between high pressure area and low pressure area is called a front. The complex relationships between fronts cause different types of wind and weather patterns. So, ang boundary daw sa between high pressure area and low pressure area is called a front. And then ito naman si fronts ay nagkakos siya ng different types of wind and weather patterns. So also, wind can be influenced by human activity. Chicago, Illinois is nicknamed the Windy City. After the Great Chicago Fire of 1871 destroyed the city, city planners rebuilt it using a grid system. This created wind tunnels. Winds are forced into narrow channels, picking up speed and strength. The Windy City is a result of natural and man-made winds. So, alam ko meron din dito eh. Alam ko meron saan ba sa Ilocos ba yun if I'm not mistaken? Tsaka sa Laguna. Ano bang tawag dun ulit? Yung ano, basta nakalimutan ko yung term. 'Di ba pag sino ba nakapunta? May nakapunta na ba doon? 'Di ba pansin nyo kapag nandun kayo, mas malakas yung hangin or mas malamig. Next is humidity. Humidity is the amount of moisture or water vapor in the air. So, ito daw yung bilang ng moisture or water vapor sa hangin. It affects the weather by leading to the formation of clouds and precipitation. It can also make an area feel warmer with high humidity or cooler with low humidity. Warm and tropical areas are typically very humid. Ibig sabihin, kapag high humidity ay mainit siya or warm. And kapag naman low ang humidity ay mas malamig. Next is precipitation. Precipitation is any liquid or frozen water that forms in the atmosphere and falls back to the earth. It comes in many forms like rain, sleet, and snow. So ito daw yung any liquid or frozen water that forms in the atmosphere na falls back to earth, na bumabalik sa earth. Or sa madaling salita, ito yung ulan and snow. Precipitation forms in the clouds when water vapor condenses into bigger and bigger droplets of water. Most rain actually begins as snow high in the clouds. As snowflakes fall through warmer air, it, wait lang, ay putik, they become raindrops. So yun, so most rains daw ay nagsisimula sa snow. Pero as they go down or fall sa pababa, syempre, nagiging raindrops na lang sila kasi mas nagiging warm yung air. Particles of dust or smoke in the atmosphere are essential for precipitation. These particles, called condensation nuclei, provide a surface for water vapor to condense upon. This helps water droplets gather together and become large enough to fall to the earth. So, itong mga particles sa daw na to, which are si condensation nuclei, sila yung tumutulong sa water droplets na mag-gather together and become large enough para bumalik or mag-fall sa earth. Yan. So, a common misconception is that when raindrops fall, they have a teardrop shape. So, hindi pala talaga yung parang sa emoji, yung ganun yung shape niya, no? In fact, smaller raindrops, ones that are approximately 1 millimeter, are almost perfectly spherical. Hindi kasi ako makahanap ng picture, guys. Kasi puro ano siya, like digital wala yung close up talaga na itsura ng raindrops. Larger raindrops, 2 to 3 millimeters, are also round, but with a small indent on their bottom side. They look more like kidney beans when falling. Very large raindrops, larger than 4.5 millimeters, have a huge indent and look more like a parachute. These extra large these extra large drops usually end up splitting into two smaller droplets. These indents on raindrops are caused by air resistance. So, si smaller raindrops daw ay perfectly spherical and si larger raindrops ay round. And then si very large raindrops ay ganun din. Pero parang parachute yung itsura niya. And sa extra large drops naman daw ay parang nag-split siya into two smaller raindrops. Precipitation is always fresh water, even when the water originated from the ocean. This is because sea salt does not evaporate with water. However, in some cases, pollutants in the atmosphere can contaminate water droplets before they fall to the ground. The precipitation that results from this is called acid rain. So, doon pala nanggagaling si acid rain or yun pala yung parang pinagmulan niya. Kapag yung pollutants sa atmosphere ay nakakontaminate niya ang water droplets bago bumaba sa ground. Next is clouds. Clouds can affect the amount of sunlight reaching the Earth's surface. Cloudy days are cooler than clear ones because clouds prevent more of the sun's radiation from reaching the Earth's surface. The opposite is true at night. Then, clouds act as a blanket, keeping the earth warm. So, yung cloudy days daw ay mas malamig or mas warm kaysa sa, like yung, nakikita niyo ba pag tanghali, yung trick na trick yung araw, parang, di ba parang blue lang yung itsura ng ng sky. Parang wala siyang, parang di kayo nakikita yung clouds, or kung may makita man kayo, parang onti lang. Hindi katulad kapag medyo makulimlim, di ba? Yan. So, next is types of weather. Sunny. The weather is sunny when there are no clouds blocking the sunlight and the temperature is warm. Sunny days are most common in spring and summer, but they can also happen in autumn and winter. But usually, they are less warm in these seasons. Yeah, so, alam niyo naman siguro itong madali na lang ito. Sunny days. So, pag sunny days, wear kayo ng sunscreen. Sabi dito, sunny days are most common in spring and summer. Pero ba sa atin parang palagi, no? Kahit nga tag-ulan eh. Sobrang init pa din. Next is cloudy. The weather is cloudy when there are lots of clouds in the sky that get in the way of the sun. Cloudy days can be cold because there is not much sunlight. Cloudy days are common in autumn and winter but can also happen in spring and summer. Usually, cloudy days in the summer are warm, whilst cloudy days in the winter are very cold. So yun nga, tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, kapag cloudy siya, malamig siya kasi nga natatakpan niya yung sunlight. Next is rainy. Rainy weather happens when there are large clouds in the sky that produce rain. Cloudy days can become rainy days if the clouds get large enough and there is a lot of precipitation. There are some parts of the world when rainy days happen almost every day for weeks at a time, and other parts of the world where rainy days are rare. Actually, may nabasa ko na parang may lugar sa mundo na kahit kailan hindi pa nagkakaroon ng rain or di pa sila nauulanan. Wait lang. Check ko ulit. Wala, di ko na siya makita. Na-delete ka na ata. Pero yun, may nabasa ko na hindi pa sila nakaka-receive ng rain.
Yes po, meron din mga place na rare lang din yung ulan. Then meron din
Mm.
place palaging umuulan. Then meron din place na dun kasi sa mama ko, yung sunlight is parang di siya makita kahit na AM siya, di siya makita because of the
Oh,
place. Opo. Then never pa dun umulan. So yun, meron talaga
saan
place
ba
na
yun?
sa Kuwait po.
Sa?
Sa Kuwait.
Oh,
Yes, kaya meron
baka
talaga place na hindi siya umuulan. Then meron din
totoo.
place na di rin makikita talaga yung sunlight. Parang, parang ano lang siya oh. Parang plain lang talaga.
Mm. Pero sana dito sa atin araw-araw ang ulan. Sure.
Oo,
Init
gani.
kasi. Yan. So, next is snowy. Pero talaga hindi mangyayari sa atin, te. Kahit anong hiling mo.
Yan.
Snow days usually happen in winter when precipitation falls as snow instead of rain. This happens because the low temperatures cause the water in clouds to freeze and become snowflakes, which fall to the ground and pile up. So, basically, parang siya, um, water nga siya, pero dahil sa low temperature, nagkakos to ng pag-freeze niya at maging snowflakes. Ayun yung magiging snow. Sana maranasan
So,
to.
mhm. So, kaya yung yung Philippines, 'di ba? Lahat naman siguro tayo dito taga Pilipinas lahat. So,
Mm.
So, 'di ba, yung sa Pilipinas never na nagka-snow. This is because the Philippines is malapit din siya sa equator. So, impossible na magkaroon tayo ng snow kasi equator is malapit tayo dun.
Totoo, pero dati, may nakita ko sa balita eh. Parang sa Baguio ata yun. Yung parang, hindi naman siya actually parang snow, na white na white yung itsura. Pero parang umulan daw ng ice doon. Nakita niyo rin ba yun?
Opo, nakita ako kasi yung sa Baguio is siya malamig siya.
Mm. Right. Pero sana magka-snow nga dito. Malay mo. Yan. So, next types of severe weather. Thunderstorms. Thunderstorms are produced by cumulonimbus clouds. Thunderstorms include rain, hail, thunder, lightning, and strong winds. Yan. So, alam niyo naman siguro ito. Ay, putik. Yan. Pag kumikidlat, ulan, grabe, alam niyo ba ako, gusto ko ng ulan pero ayoko ng yung sinasabayan ng kidlat kasi nakakatakot na. Tsaka nakakarindi. Tsaka nakakagulat.
Yes, someone din na may takot sa thunderstorm.
Mm, true. Next, tornadoes. Tornadoes occur when warm air collides with cold air, and then it creates a narrow and rotating column of air from a thunderstorm. Like thunderstorms, tornadoes can also vary in severity. We have a scale to measure the severity of tornadoes. This is called the Fujita scale. Yan. So, ano ba? Wait lang. Tama ba? Ang Tagalog nito ay ipo-ipo or iba yun?
Yeah, parang ganun na nga.
Hmm. Nagkakaroon din dito niyan, no? May nakakita-kita ko sa balita nito eh. Pero parang hindi yung ganito kalala. Parang mababa lang siya.
Yes, nangyari din yan before dito sa amin. Pero hindi talaga siya ganun kakapal. Pero
Mm.
parang may
Pero sana wag
ano,
naman mangyari.
baka ma-fly tayo to the heaven yan.
True na. Yes. So next, hurricanes and typhoons. They form over water and can produce winds of 200 mph. The difference between a hurricane and a typhoon is the location. So, yung pinagkaiba ng hurricanes and typhoons ay yung kanilang location. So, yeah, for example, storms from the north of the Pacific Ocean are called typhoons, but storms from the north of the Atlantic Ocean are called hurricanes. So, sa atin, no, typhoon ang tawag sa atin. Pero if I'm not mistaken, sa US, hurricanes ang tawag nila. Tama ba?
Opo.
Next, winter storms. These storms occur in colder temperature, which causes rain to freeze and create snow and ice. A winter storm is when a large amount of snow has fallen. So parang ito lang yung ano, parang storm siya pero ice. Ay, mali, snow. Snow
So,
yung
ah,
snow yung
pareho lang
storm. Ha?
yung winter is pareho lang siya sa snow. Kasi kapag yung large amount of ano na siya, parang snow na
Mm.
siya.
Sobrang lamig siguro nito. Next, blizzard. Blizzards are a type of severe snowstorm and occur for a longer period of time. Siguro siya na yung pinakamalala. Kasi severe
Yes,
snowstorm. Kung si winter storm, sige, medyo-medyo. Si blizzard, siya na yung severe.
the worst.
And
Malalim talaga siya.
longer siya. Mas mahaba siya.
Longer period.
Blizzards also, mm Blizzards also include dangerously low temperatures and strong winds as well as lots of snow. Oh, so sobrang baba na ng temperature nito.
And then minsan, ano na siya, dangerous.
Mm. Dito pa nga lang 'di ba kapag like 'di ba may mga instances na ano kunwari nagkaulan lang or nagkabagyo or biglang lumamig yung ano tapos pag may nagkasakit sasabihin nila na ay siguro dahil lang to sa paglamig bigla parang ganun yung nagiging dahilan paano pa kaya pag ano na no ganito siguro mamamatay na ako niyan. Yan, so next, drought. A drought is a long period without rain or precipitation. So ito naman yung ma-
Para
nangyayari ito
siyang,
kapag
para siyang kabaligtaran ng blizzard. Kapag sa blizzard
yes.
is long period of time na snow, ito naman yung dryness. From the word draw.
Pwede po itong i-ano as ano, tawag dun, El Nino,
Ah, yeah.
no? Kasi parang tagtuyot na siya.
At saka yung ano, yung rain, hindi na siya, wala na siya. Saka yung
Mm,
precipitation.
yes. Yan. So next, punta tayo kay climate. Wala shoot, isang oras na lang. Kaya naman siguro ito. What is climate? Climate refers to the long-term regional or global average of temperature, humidity, and rainfall patterns over seasons, years, or decades. While the weather can change in just a few hours, climate changes over longer time frames. So, yun yung pinakaiba nila. Kung si weather ay pwedeng magbago, like kunwari ngayon, 5:10 na ulan, pwedeng mamayang 5:20 hindi na. Si climate hindi gano'n. Parang nagbabago siya over seasons, years. May nakita ako, parang 30 years ata yun. Bago siya, pwedeng magbago. So different parts of the world have different climates. Some parts of the world are hot or rainy nearly every day. They have a tropical wet climate. So, yung mga lugar daw na mainit at ano ba? At umuulan halos araw-araw, sila yung may tropical wet climate. Others are cold and snow-covered. Most of the year, they have a polar climate. So, yung mga lugar naman na malamig at parang ano ba, snow-covered most of the year, laging nag-snow, tawag sa kanila ay meron silang polar climate. Climate has Climate is determined by a region's climate system. A climate system has five major components, which are the atmosphere, the hydrosphere, the cryosphere, the land surface, and the biosphere. Yan. So, nade-determine daw si climate by a region's climate system. Yan. So, ito components of a climate system. Number one is the atmosphere. The Earth's atmosphere, a layer of gases surrounding the planet, is primarily composed of nitrogen, 78% of nitrogen, 21% of oxygen, and trace gases like carbon dioxide and water vapor. This dynamic layer impacts climate through its composition and various movements, including wind patterns and the greenhouse effect. Next is the hydrosphere. This component includes all water on the earth, such as oceans, lakes, rivers, and groundwater. The hydrosphere plays a vital role in storing and transporting energy, breaking down minerals, and regulating temperature changes. Oceans, which cover around 70% of the Earth's surface, are particularly important for climate regulation. Yan, so importante daw itong hydrosphere sa pag-store at pag-transport ng energy, pag-breakdown ng minerals, at pag-regulate ng temperature. Oceans, which cover around 70% of the surface. Yan, importante din siya. Pero, ano ngayon, no? Wait lang, may nakita ko eh. Parang sa Antarctica ba yun? Parang nagaano na yung tawag doon? Natutunaw na yung snow. Snow ba tawag doon? Basta, di ba? Wait lang. Nasaan na si ate? Nag-on mic. Tama ba? Tapos yung mga penguins doon ay ano na. Parang na-read ko na ano siya. Parang delikado siya and alarming yung ganun. So yeah, importante ang oceans and ang hydrosphere sa Earth. Next is the cryosphere. The cryosphere comprises all forms of frozen water on Earth, including ice sheets, glaciers, snow cover, and permafrost. The ice in the cryosphere reflects solar radiation back into the space, contributing to global energy balance and influencing ocean circulation patterns. So, kung si hydrosphere ay yung all the water forms, ito naman si cryosphere ay all forms of frozen water. And of course, importante din siya sa Earth dahil nire-reflect niya ang solar radiation pabalik sa space.
Meron siyang circulation patterns from the world side.
Wait, ha? Sorry, di ko narinig masyado.
Ito siya yung sa, ano ba yan? Yung cryosphere. Eh, meron siyang circulation patterns na, wait lang.
Okay, sige.
Para siyang yung cryosphere, meron siyang circulation patterns na parang nagre-recycle yung ice in the reflects solar radiation back into the space. Ganon, yung parang cycling lang siya. Meron siyang
Mm-mm.
circulation.
Yes. Pero in the form of frozen water, no?
Opo.
Yeah, next is lithosphere. The lithosphere refers to the solid outermost shell of the Earth, or um, landforms, which includes the land surface, soils, mountains, and other geological features. While the lithosphere has a relatively minor direct impact on climate compared to other components, it does affect how solar radiation is absorbed or reflected back into the atmosphere. Wait lang guys. Yan. So si lithosphere, parang hindi naman daw ganun ka kalaki yung impact niya sa climate compared sa mga ibang components ng climate system. Meron pa rin siyang effect, no? Which is itong how solar radiation is absorbed or reflected back into the atmosphere. Since siya ay ang landforms dito sa Earth. Next is the biosphere. The biosphere encompasses all living organisms on Earth. Plants, animals, and microorganisms interact with the other components of the climate system, influencing atmospheric composition, carbon cycles, and energy flows. The biosphere plays a crucial role in regulating greenhouse gas concentrations and affecting climate patterns. So, si biosphere, siya daw ay yung mga living organisms dito sa Earth. So, syempre, nakaka-apekto to sa climate, no? Yan. So, next, climate classification. So, may classification daw ang climate. So, ano-ano nga ba sila? Yan. So, in 1948, American climatologist Charles Thornthwaite introduced a climate classification system that is still utilized by scientists today. Thornthwaite's system is based on a region's water balance and potential evapotranspiration. So, itong pinagbasehan daw ni Charles Thornthwaite ay ang region's water balance and potential evapotranspiration. So, si potential evapotranspiration daw ay nagme-measure ng water na nag-evaporate from a vegetated area. Factors like humidity and precipitation play a role in calculating a region's moisture index. A lower moisture index indicates a drier climate in the area. Yan. So, etong si humidity and precipitation daw, parang may role sila sa pag-calculate ng moisture index ng isang region or ng isang particular na lugar. At ibig sabihin, kapag mas mababa ang moisture index, ibig sabihin, mas drier yung climate nun sa area na yon. Kabaligtaran naman nun kapag mataas yung moisture index niya, ibig sabihin, hindi dry or parang sakto lang ganyan. So the major classifications in Thornthwaite's climate huh? The major classifications in Thornthwaite's climate classification are microthermal, mesothermal, and megathermal. So ano-ano nga ba sila? Microthermal climates. Microthermal climates are characterized by cold winters and low potential evapotranspiration. So nakaka-characterize daw si microthermal by cold winters and low potential evapotranspiration. Most geographers apply the term exclusively to the northern latitudes of North America, Europe, and Asia. A microthermal climate may include temperate climate of Boston, the coniferous forests of southern Scandinavia, and the boreal ecosystem of northern Siberia. Yeah, so semi-thermal climates are now characterized by cold winters at mababang potential evapotranspiration. While si mesothermal climates naman ay ang mga regions na mayroong moderate climates lang. They are not cold enough to sustain a layer of winter snow, but also not remain warm enough to support flowering plants. So, parang sakto lang sila, parang hindi masyadong malamig, hindi masyadong mainit. Moderate lang siya. So, mesothermal climates include the Mediterranean basin, most of coastal Australia, and the Pampas region of South America. Yan. So, megathermal climates naman. So, megathermal climates are hot and humid. These regions have a high moisture index and support rich vegetation all year. Megathermal climates include the Amazon basin, many islands in Southeast Asia such as New Guinea and the Philippines, and the Congo basin in Africa. So, ito yung si megathermal ay yung mga hot na, super hot. Kasi nandito ako. Sure. Yan. So, bukod kay torrent weight, meron din, meron ding isa pa na nag-classify ng climates. So, si Köppen. Köppen classification system. Yan. The most popular system of classifying climates was proposed in by Russian-German scientist Vladimir Köppen. Köppen observed that the type of vegetation in a region depended largely on climate. Studying vegetation, temperature, and precipitation data, he and other scientists developed a system for naming climate regions. So, nag-base naman siya sa type of vegetation in a region. According to the Köppen climate classification system, there are 5 climate groups which are tropical, dry, mild, continental, and polar. These climate groups are further divided into climate types. So, based kay Köppen, meron daw 5 climate groups, which is tropical, dry, mild, continental, and polar. And sa groups na to, na-divide pa sila sa different types. Yan. So, una ay tropical climates. So, first type is tropical wet. Places with the tropical wet climates are also known as rainforests. These equatorial regions have the most predictable weather on Earth, with warm temperatures and regular rainfall. Rainforests experience very little seasonal changes, meaning average monthly temperatures remain fairly constant throughout the year. So, places daw na merong tropical wet climate ay sila yung mga merong most predictable na weather sa Earth. Dahil na parang hindi masyadong nagbabago yung pattern ng pag-ulan or ng temperature sa kanila. Parang meron lang specific na range. Some tropical wet climates are wet throughout the year. Others experience more rainfall during the summer or winter, but they never have especially dry seasons. The U.S. state of Hawaii, Kuala Lumpur, and Malaysia are examples of areas with tropical wet climates. Next sa tropical climates ay si tropical monsoon or monsoon. Tropical monsoon climates are found in the southern Asia and West Africa. A monsoon is a wind system that reverses its direction every 6 months. Monsoons usually flow from the sea to land in summer and from land to sea in the winter. So, nagre-reverse yung kanyang wind system. Nagre-reverse yung direction niya every 6 months. Summer monsoons bring large amounts of rainfall to tropical monsoon regions. People living in these regions depend on seasonal rains to bring water to their crops India and Bangladesh are famous for their monsoon climate patterns. So yung mga lugar na mayroong tropical monsoon climate ay nagdedepende lang sila sa parang kapag umuulan. Dahil kapag, tawag dito, kapag hindi na, pag parang summer na, hindi na masyadong umuulan dahil nga summer. Yan. So, next sa tropical climates ay tropical wet and dry or savanna. Tropical wet and dry climates are sometimes called savanna climates after the grassland ecosystem defined by wet and dry periods. They have three seasons, cool and dry. Wait. One season is cool and dry when the warm, moist each is in the opposite hemisphere. Another season is hot and dry as the approaches. The last season is hot and wet as the each arrives and the region experiences months as a tropical wet climate. So, meron daw silang tatlong seasons. Itong mga lugar na mayroong tropical wet and dry climate. So, unang season ay si cool and dry, sunod ay si hot and dry, and sunod ay si hot and wet. So, life in these tropical wet and dry regions depend on the wet season's rains. During years when rains are light, people and animals suffer through drought. During especially rainy years, regions may experience flooding. Havana, Cuba, Kolkata, India, and Africa's vast Serengeti Plain are in the wet and dry tropics. So regions lying within the dry climate group occur where precipitation is low. Ay, so dry climates na pala to. So regions lying within the dry climate group occur where precipitation is low. There are two dry climate types, arid and semi-arid. Most arid climates receive 10 to 30 centimeters or 4 to 12 inches of rain each year, and semi-arid climates receive enough to support extensive garlands. So, parang dry sila. Dry yung climate nila, no? 10 to 30 centimeters or 4 to 12 inches lang yun na nare-receive nilang rain each year. No, grabe. And semi-arid naman, parang ito yung hindi siya masyadong dry, pero enough lang yung nabibigyan niya na rain para masuportahan or ma-preserve yung grasslands or yung para mga puno, ganyan, yung mga tanim. Although rainfall is limited in all dry climates, there are few parts of the world where it never rains. So ito pala yung sinasabi ko kanina. One of the driest places on Earth is the Atacama Desert of Chile, on the west coast of South America. Wait lang guys. One of the driest places on Earth is the Atacama Desert of Chile, on the west coast of South America. Stretches of the Atacama may have never received rain in recorded history. So ito pa ang sinasabi ko kanina. Siguro isa lang sila sa mga lugar na hindi nakaka-receive pa ng rain. Grabe no, sobrang init siguro. So arid and semi-arid climates can occur where the movement of warm, moist air is blocked by the mountains. Yan. So basically, itong lugar na mayroong dry climates is yung parang rare or never talagang naka-experience ng pag-ulan. Next, mild climates. Regions with mild and continental climates are also called temperate regions. Both climate types have distinct cold seasons. In these parts of the world, climate is influenced mostly by latitude and a region's position on the continent. Yan, so yung mga lugar daw na mayroong mild and continental climates ay tinatawag din na temperate regions. No? Itong mga lugar daw na ito ay parang yung na-influence ng latitude and yung position nila sa continent, na-influence yung climate nila. Yan, so first type is Mediterranean. Mediterranean climates have warm summers and short, mild, rainy winters. Mediterranean climates are found on the west coast of continents between 30 degrees and 40 degrees latitude, and along the shores of the Mediterranean Sea. Mediterranean summers feature clear skies, cool nights, and little rain. So yun yung na-receive nila kapag summer. Sana ganun din dito. Pag summer kasi dito talagang init eh. Yan. So next is humid subtropical. Humid subtropical climates are usually found on the eastern sides of continents. In cities such as Savannah, Georgia in the US, Shanghai, China, and Sydney, Australia, summers are hot and humid. So, ito yung mga may init na ang kanilang summers. And kapag naman winter, yung parang sobrang lamig na or severely cold nga. So precipitation is spread evenly through the years and total 76 to 165 centimeters or 30 to 65 inches. Hurricanes and other violent oh, Hurricanes and other violent storms are common in these regions. So yun nga, yung hurricanes and other violent storms ay laging nangyayari dito sa mga lugar na to. Tulad nitong Savannah, Georgia in US, Shanghai, Sydney. And next type of mild climates is marine west coast. Weather on both sides of a continent generally becomes cooler as latitude increases. The marine west coast climate, a type of mild climate typical of cities such as Seattle, Washington in the US, and Wellington, New Zealand, has a longer, colder winter than the Mediterranean climate. Drizzle falls about two-thirds of winter days, and temperatures average about 5 degrees Celsius or 41 degrees Fahrenheit. So, ito naman yung mga lugar na yung mga lugar na mayroong mar- mild climates na may type na marine west coast. Ito yung parang um, mas mahaba at mas malamig yung winter nila kaysa sa Mediterranean climate. Areas with Yeah, so next is continental climate. Areas with continental climates have colder winters, longer lasting snow, and shorter growing seasons. So kung si mild climate ay parang longer siya, itong si continental ay mas longer pa. No? They are the transition zones between mild and polar climates. Continental climates experience extreme seasonal changes. There are three types of continental climate: warm summer, cool summer, and subarctic. All these climates exist only in the northern hemisphere. Usually, continental climates are found in the interior of continents. So, itong mga lugar daw na mayroong continental climates ay nakaka-experience ng extreme seasonal changes. So, meron silang three types. Ang continental climates ay merong three types which are warm summer, cool summer, and si subarctic. Yan. So, ito yung pinagkaiba nila. Warm summer climate regions often have wet summer seasons, similar to monsoon climates. For this reason, this climate type is also called humid continental. Most of Eastern Europe, including Romania and Georgia, has warm summer climates. So, si warm climate regions ay merong wet summer seasons. No? So, parang maulan doon kapag summer. So, cool summer climates have winters with low temperatures and snow. So, kung si warm summer ay merong wet summer season, si cool summer naman ay ay merong snow sa summer. Next is subarctic. North of regions with cool summer climates are regions with subarctic climates. These regions, including northern Scandinavia and Siberia, experience very long, cold winters with little precipitation. Subarctic climates are also called boreal climates or taiga. Taiga bust. Maalok sa di taiga. Yan. So, si subarctic naman ay nakaka-experience sila ng longer and colder winters. Yan. So, next is polar climates. So, merong two polar climate types, which is tundra and ice cap, which lies within the Arctic and Antarctic circles near the North and South poles. Yan, so si tundra. In tundra climates, summers are short, but plants and animals are plentiful. Temperatures can average as high as 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit in July. Wildflowers dot the landscape, and flocks of migratory birds feed on insects and fish. Whales feed on microscopic creatures in the regions called nutrient-rich waters. People have adapted to life on the tundra for thousands of years. So, dito sa tundra, may ikli lang yung kanilang summer, no? Next is ice cap. Few organisms survive in the ice cap climates of the Arctic and Antarctic. Temperatures rarely rise above freezing even in summer. The ever-present ice helps keep the water cold by reflecting most of the sun's energy back into the atmosphere. Skies are most clearly and precipitation is low. In fact, Antarctica, covered by an ice cap 1.6 kilometers or 1 mile thick, is one of the largest and driest deserts on Earth. So dito naman sa lugar na merong ice cap, parang dito na siguro yung parang dangerous na tumira dahil few organisms survive. Parang rare lang talaga yung makaka-survive sa lugar na to. Yan, so next, punta na tayo sa atmosphere. Siguro abot naman ito ng 6. Yan, so ano nga ba si atmosphere? So the Earth is surrounded by all kinds of gases. This layer is called the Earth's atmosphere. Without this atmosphere, life on Earth isn't possible because it gives us air, water, heat, and it protects us against harmful rays of the sun and against meteorites. So, si Earth daw ay napapalibutan ng all kind of gases and siya ay tinatawag na atmosphere, no? So, kung walang atmosphere, hindi possible ang life sa Earth dahil nga ito yung nabibigay sa atin ng air, water, heat, at ito rin yung nagpoprotekta sa atin against sa harmful rays of the sun. Next, the atmosphere is made up of different layers with different qualities. It consists of 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, 0.93% argon, 0.03% carbon dioxide, and 0.04% of other gases. And so, isa-isa natin sila ang layers ng atmosphere. Una ay si troposphere or siya yung pinakamalapit dito sa Earth. So, the troposphere is the lowest layer of the atmosphere and measures about 7 miles or 12 kilometers. It contains over 75% of all the atmosphere's gases and vast quantities of water and dust. So, nagko-contain daw si troposphere ng 75% ng gases ng atmosphere tulad ng mga sinabi ko kanina, nitrogen, oxygen, argon, yung mga yon. So, as the sun hits the ground, ganito yung, yeah. As the sun hits the ground, it keeps this thick mixture churning. The weather is caused by these churnings of the mass. The troposphere is normally warmest at ground level and cools higher up where it reaches the upper boundary or the tropopause. The tropopause varies in height. At the equator, it is at 11.2 miles or 8 kilometers high at 50 north and 50 south, 5.6 miles or 9 kilometers, and the poles 3.7 or 6 kilometers high. So, si troposphere daw, siya yung ito yung lowest layer of the atmosphere. No? Siya yung nagka-contain ng 75% of atmosphere's gases and siya ay warmest sa ground level and ay mas nag-cool ang kanyang temperature. So next is its stratosphere or yung kasunod ni troposphere. So the stratosphere extends from the tropopause up to its boundary or the stratopause, 31 miles or 50 kilometers above the Earth's surface. In this layer, there is 19% of the atmosphere's gases and it contains little water vapor. Compared to the troposphere, it is calm in this layer. So compared daw sa troposphere, si stratosphere ay calm. So the movements of the gases are slow. Yan. So tagalawin ko lang ulit. So mabagal daw ang movement ng gases dito kay stratosphere. So within the stratosphere is the ozone layer, a band of ozone gas that absorbs harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun. The higher you get in the atmosphere, the warmer the air gets. The temperature rises from -76 degree Fahrenheit or -60 degrees Celsius at the bottom to a maximum of about 5 degree Fahrenheit or 10 degrees Celsius at the stratopause. So, dito, si stratosphere, ang ginagawa niya naman ay itong inaabsorb niya ang mga harmful ultraviolet rays na nagagaling sa araw. Yan. So, next is mesosphere. The mesosphere is the next layer above the stratopause and extends to its upper boundary or the mesopause at 50 miles or 80 kilometers above the ground. The gases in the mesosphere are too thin to absorb much of the sun's heat. So, hindi siya katulad ni stratosphere na kaya niya i-absorb or kaya niya tayong protektahan doon sa init na nanggagaling sa araw or yung ultraviolet rays. Dahil dito, yung gases sa mesosphere ay too thin or manipis. Ayan, so although the air is still thick enough to slow down meteorites hurtling into the atmosphere, they burn up, leaving fairy trails in the night sky. So the temperatures in the mesosphere drop to -184 degree Fahrenheit or -120 degrees Celsius at the mesopause. And so next is, madaliin ko na lang guys kasi magsa-6 na. So next is thermosphere. So basically, siya yung kasunod ni mesosphere. The thermosphere is the layer above the mesopause. The gases of the thermosphere are even thinner than those in the mesosphere. Kung dito pala sa mesosphere ay maninipis na ang gas, mas lalo pa dito sa thermosphere. So because of this, the temperatures rise up to 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit or 2,000 degrees Celsius at the top. This is this is a height of 430 miles or 700 kilometers of the Earth's surface. In the thermosphere is a separate layer, the ionosphere. So meron daw separate layer si thermosphere which is the ionosphere. This layer extends of 62 miles or 100 kilometers to 190 miles or 300 kilometers of the Earth's surface. Yan, so ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. Ito yung kasama ni thermosphere, si ionosphere. So ano nga bang ginagawa niya? So, the ionosphere is part of the thermosphere. So, part daw siya ng thermosphere. It is made of electrically charged gas particles, ionized. The particles get this electric charge by ultraviolet rays of the sun. The ionosphere has the important quality of bouncing radio signals transmitted from the Earth. That's why places all over the world can be reached via radio. So, yun pala yung trabaho ni ionosphere or parang dun siya responsible, no? So, siguro kung wala si ionosphere, parang hindi hindi magba-bounce ang radio signals at parang hindi siya matatransmit sa iba't ibang lugar, no? So, next is the exosphere. I believe ito na yung last, no? The exosphere is the outermost layer of the atmosphere and extends from 433 miles or 700 kilometers to 500 miles or 800 kilometers above the ground. In this layer, gases get thinner and drift off into space. So, parang start kay dito kay mesosphere, parang dito na nagsisin yung gases. Parang panipis siya ng panipis, no? Habang papataas. So, hanggang dito kay exosphere, parang sobrang nipis na lang siya. Yan. Thank you. Yeah. So, tapos na guys. Medyo mahaba. Pero, parang sakto lang naman siya. So, any question? Siguro may naintindihan naman kayo, no? Sorry, medyo nahihirapan ako magsalita. Ang sakit kasi ng ngipin ko talaga no. Isang araw pa. Namamaga siya. So, sana may naintindihan kayo and see you sa next na lesson ko. Siguro, parang kailan ba yun? Kalimutan ko na. Pero makikita niyo ako ulit. Yeah, so thank you. Sana may naintindihan kayo. Thank you sa time. Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Yin. Okay, everyone. Done na tayo sa ating science session. So, ang next natin is Math for 6:40. So, pwede na kayo mag-take ng break and balik na lang kayo dito ng 6:40. Thank you.
Pakagis.